Hello, everyone, and welcome to this second attempt at a hangout. Um, Sorry about the technical glitches just now. I've had to restart the hangout. Yeah, we're going to be reflecting on the Hobbit trilogy, the three-part adaptation of J.R. Tolkien's The Hobbit, directed by Peter Jackson. We're going to be reflecting on all three films, and I expect to journey the desolation of Smaug and so, Adam, would you like
Hello.
to kick us off with again?
An unexpected journey. Well, I must say it was a fantastic cinema experience, and I think what Peter Jackson had to do was to lure Middle-earth fans back into the world and bring new fans in. And it's the look and aesthetics looks completely different to Lord of the Rings, of course. It's a decade on, and it's a beautiful work that he's made. New Zealand has never looked better, and there's something about also the script. That's really great. The witty banter between whether it's Bilbo and Gandalf, Bilbo and the dwarves and Gandalf. It's all fun. I think it puts the audience in a really fun and light mood until pretty much Thorin turns up and drops the facade, and there is a purpose why they're here, why they're suddenly having drinks and ale and bread and at Bilbo's house and singing songs, and there is an all-around purpose, and then they go off and have this incredible adventure. Bilbo wasn't too sure, but of course Gandalf, the old wise wizard, was going to convince him otherwise, and they're on this incredible quest of fighting ogres, orcs and dwarfs. What am I saying? Trolls and Gollum. It's really great. I mean that there's that standout moment where Bilbo's like, "That's where I think what that's what I find that's what I think of as home, but you don't have one because it was taken for you. But give it back. I will get it back for you with the best of my ability." That kind of thing. And then Thorin at the end just saying, "I've never been so wrong in all my life."
Oh yeah, that's such a beautiful moment. These are the moments that we live for these films, you know.
Yeah.
Also,
And then we have this kind of voice.
I think there's one
Yes.
aspect that you should mention. Also the soundtrack as well.
Yes. Howard
Oh,
Shore. That's great. Great stuff.
masterful.
Mm.
Sorry,
I
do
can't
continue.
believe that critics are not enjoying sitting in Middle Earth one more time and having fun. They have to be so critical.
Also, can I just ask you, in terms of obviously because it was one book, they stretched it into three films. How do you think this is standing on its own? Just as I mean, because it's chapters 1 to 6 of the book, it doesn't cover much of the book. How
Really
do you think
well.
it's?
I think it's one of the more childish aspects of that book because you have the battle and then you have the dragon, which to many could find quite scary. So in a way, you sort of watch this as the first six, and it's quite a nice little mini tale before meet their eventually before they meet the dragon and before they battle the five armies.
Yeah, it's a good build to the sequels, which in which the story does continue.
Mm,
In
indeed, it
terms
does.
of the action sequences, what do you think of those?
Oh, they choreographed really well, of course, and they were of course really fun to watch. I don't, oh, of course, the flashback scene with him Azog, I believe.
Azog,
Uh,
yeah,
Dear God, one of those grittiest bits in the actual trilogy, I must say.
yes. I mean, a beheading, in
Yeah,
in
beheading in Lord of the
Thorin's
Rings.
grandfather gets beheaded in the first 48 minutes of The Hobbit.
Yeah.
And also the prologue when they don't show Smaug, but they do show him, if you know what I mean.
Oh yeah. You mean the sort of the end?
In Erebor, the attack on Erebor.
Well, thank God it wasn't like an end credit scene like Marvel, but hey.
Yeah. Hi, Harry.
Good late afternoon.
Yeah,
Yes.
it is late afternoon, isn't it? Really nice and sunny out.
Yeah. I like it. We're just delving into an
It sort of
unexpected
reminds me of The
journey.
Hobbit, actually.
It's a bit strange, actually. I don't. There's something about like it being sunny at this time of day that makes me sad. I don't know what it is.
Also, Harry, I know it's off topic, but I bought The Invasion from HMV.
Oh, you have fun with that.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry, carry on.
That's all right. Harry, we're just delving into an unexpected journey. Unless Adam has anything else to say, at the moment,
I'm fine. I think I've covered it.
we can go back and forth. So,
Right.
Harry,
Yeah.
what do you think of The Hobbit: An Unexpected Journey?
Really, it's sort of the film that really got me into the Middle Earth saga in a way. Because I think a lot of people know that I prefer The Hobbit to The Lord of the Rings, but I still quite like the whole sort of Middle Earth saga in the universe, and like just the things that were established in Tolkien's mind. It's really something which quite fascinates me. And I think An Unexpected Journey was a great start, really. I mean, because a lot of people were skeptical about this Hobbit trilogy because it like Lord of the Rings trilogy, that was like 400-page books being adapted into 3-hour films. This was a 300-page book being adapted into 2.5-hour films, roughly. So
Well, plus the extended versions, they'll be about 3 hours.
exactly. So basically 3-hour films, kind of. And so yeah, people were skeptical, but to be quite honest, I know that it gets a lot of slack, but I actually really enjoy it. I think it's really good. I used to think that sort of the bigger integration of like CGI as opposed to practical effects, that kind of niggled me at first, but now I just think I don't really care because I think the effects look really fantastic, and I didn't even.
Especially for like the digital characters like the trolls and Azog and all the rock thunder people, the goblins as well, and Gollum.
Yes, like that goblin, like the goblin's lair. That just all looked just amazing. Like, it looked brilliant, and I also love like even the things that I didn't actually know were effects at first, like Gandalf in like in Bilbo's Hobbit hole, like just like in a green screen like room, like that was just that's fantastic. Just the way they did it.
The sizing of from the proportions of the dwarves and Bilbo to the normal people is incredible. The way they do that.
Yeah, and you could tell that they've put so much work into there's you could say it's a palaver for like little things like that, but there's so much attention to detail. So in terms of production values, that first film is astounding. And I'd even go as far as to say that it's revolutionary for cinema at the time. And
Yeah.
just the way they made it and everything else like that. But also, I think that there are some fantastic moments. I know that people said the first 40 minutes is slow, but I just love it. And
because you get to know the dwarves.
Yeah, exactly. And and you're getting to know Bilbo, and it's setting the groundwork, and it's just sort of like the setup. You don't need to go straight into something.
Oh, I meant also the prologue as well. That action scene in the attack at Erebor. That is spectacular.
Yeah, so if you're looking for action at the start of a film, well, there you go. But there was also just so many fantastic things. Like I love the riddles in the dark scene, and I love the out of the frying pan into the fire. Just brilliant chapters from the book that have been adapted so perfectly.
Because this is the first in a trilogy, and it's based off 6 chapters of a book. How do you think structurally it's a bit? The first time you watch it, it's going to be a bit odd because it's really stretched, but in a good way.
Well, the first time I watched it, it felt as though it didn't feel like it was 1/3 of a story. It felt like it was built to sort of stand out on its own in a way, because I think that it had its own narrative, because throughout most of it, Thorin was unsure of Bilbo, and that in turn made everyone else, the audience, feel unsure of Bilbo, whether he was fit for this to go on this adventure. But then
Yeah.
by the end, Thorin comes to his senses and realizes that there's more to Bilbo than meets the eye. So I think that, in a way, it can stand out on its own. And I think that, it did a brilliant job just to say it was like only 6 chapters of a book.
Yeah, and consider it also. I mean, of course, they add stuff in the book, but I thought, considering the events and how they structure them, yes, they long some of them out, but they, the pacing is actually really well done. I think it moves really brisk. It's not as quick as like the other two, I don't think, but it still moves along and it moves fine. I don't think it's that slow. I think it's fine.
Yeah, and for for the first installment, there's still there's still a lot that happens, because then like it starts off in Bag End, and then it goes to the trolls, and then it goes to
Radagast.
Radagast, and then it goes to the elves, and then it goes to goblins, and then out of the frying pan into the fire, and then goblins left. So much happens, so much happens, and it's
also. Obviously, it's different to the book because you've read the book, Harry, haven't you?
Yep.
The addition of
As have I.
oh, we've all read the book then. The addition of Azog, all the changes they made with Azog, I thought was brilliant. Because you want to know more of the backstory of Thorin, and you want to know why. You want to know why he has this hatred towards Azog, and I thought that they handled that really well. It was a bit graphic, obviously, when he held up his grandfather's head.
But I thought that was great, really, because in the book it was literally just a 2-page monologue about sort of like about the gold and about and things like that. But then they made such a big thing about it in the film, which I thought was really good, and that sort of just added more layers to Thorin.
And he appears for the climax of the film on his warg, and the moment when Thorin charges towards him, that is just epic. I love that. That's just brilliant.
It's so well done. Just like the stakes are high because all the dwarfs could fall off, but then but the eagles come. The eagles are always there to save the day.
Yeah. What do you think of the soundtrack as well, Harry?
Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? It's really nice. I love the sort of it's nostalgic in a way, because if you like the Lord of the Rings music, like all that music in Bag End, that was all that all very prominent from like Lord of the Rings stuff. And I think that it's just it's really good. I like I think I prefer the music in Desolation of Smaug though.
And the Battle of the Five Armies.
Maybe not so much Battle of the Five Armies. I don't know.
Fair enough. I love the goblin scenes. They're really well done. I mean, in the extended version, there's a Goblin King song which I thought was hilarious. Down to Goblin Town, and the songs. Actually, we should mention about the songs. I like the songs. I think I think they add their own identity to the Hobbit. It's not just like a Lord of the Rings ripoff. There's some lightness to it, and that's what really sells the Hobbit for me, is that there's some lightness to it. It's not just a gritty, epic fantasy tale. It's actually quite a funny story as well, with the dwarves and everything. I mean, there are a lot of them, but there are going to be some that are just there along for the ride. So I don't think people should really complain too much about the dwarves. I mean, it's mainly they just need to focus on Thorin and Barn and a few of the others, and they did that really well.
I would have complained if they hadn't included any of those songs, because I think that, like you say, they need to give this trilogy its own identity. It can't just be a rehash of Lord of the Rings, because if you're gonna make a rehash of Lord of the Rings, you might as well just remake the Lord of the Rings. So I think to include those songs was a good way to sort of make that distinction between the two trilogies. But obviously, it's in the same universe. It's got a lot of the same characters, a lot of the same music, and a lot of the same way of doing things, apart from maybe just a few production things like the effects. But yeah, I'm glad they included some of the songs.
And I like the additional elements to the storyline, like the Dol Guldur stuff, more expanded in the Desolation of Smaug. But for here, the little tease that we get of it is quite good, and obviously the Necromancer, who we will revealed to in the next film, we get foreshadows for the next two Hobbit films, and I always thought it was quite intriguing. And I love the action in this film. The action's amazing. I mean, you know, from the opening prologue to the troll fight to the warg chase to the goblin town fight to the out of the frying pan climax. It's all so good, and Jackson really does do epic. He can do. He's the ultimate director for epic.
He's like, I mean, he must have like 100 things to keep track of. It's insane.
I think what really also defines him as a director is passion. Like, he commits so much to his projects. I mean, without his passion and dedication, the movies wouldn't be as good as they are. I mean, obviously, they gave themselves a challenge making The Hobbit into 3 films, but I thought they did excellently. I mean, obviously, well, with the first film, it was all about making the mark there, and I thought they handled it really well. I mean, I don't have much more else to say. I like the Rivendell scenes too, although I think maybe they could have, if there was anything to cut, maybe they could have cut 1 or 2 of the Rivendell scenes, but I can see, I mean, they put them back in the extended version anyway, so it's okay, but
I think that they should have included that scene with Bilbo and Elrond, just like, that was beautiful foreshadowing to Return of the King. That was like...
Yes. I love the extended editions because you get so much to sort of like... Obviously for me, because I love both Lord of the Rings and Hobbit, it's great for me because I can actually sort of nerd out when I watch it.
Yeah. Like you said though about Peter Jackson, I mean, obviously it is a passion project, and it's like it's really cool for like people who love, not just like Lord of the Rings and but just like all
Tolkien.
The books and all of like the appendices and all the Middle Earth jargon and things like that people just love to explore. It's great for them that like these films are made by someone who also loves the source material. So that's really cool. I couldn't what's his name? Something Del Toro.
Oh, Guillermo del Toro. He was meant to direct.
Yeah, was he a big Middle Earth fan?
I don't know. I mean, I can't say how much of a fan he was, but I think he'd obviously seen the Lord of the Rings films, and I think he was, because originally when they were intending to make The Hobbit, it was meant to be 2 films, but they stretched it to 3 after principal photography. So, I mean, yeah, but I think Jackson is the only director for Middle Earth, and I mean, with An Unexpected Journey, he does the same sort of epic scope that he does for Lord of the Rings, but obviously with The Hobbit, he adds a bit of lightness to it. So he's mixing in the tones a little bit, which I admire a lot as well. I mean, the movie has dark segments, but I don't think it is the lightest of the 3 Hobbit films. I think out of the Hobbit films, the darkest is Desolation of Smaug. But we can discuss more about that in a second.
I think
Adam, is there anything you wanted to say?
What about An Unexpected Journey?
Yeah, anything else you want to say more about that?
I'm trying to track back. I love Thorin's big stand in the end, but of course saved by Bilbo. And that whole near the Eagles.
Yeah, it's a movie about home, like belonging to somewhere in a way that, I know it sounds cheesy, but that is generally what I get.
Pretty much so.
I mean,
I think the whole story really is about home, really, and just like sort of maybe just going out of your comfort zone a bit, because that's the whole that's why I love the story, because it's just about
Bilbo is put into a situation in which he's not used to.
Exactly, and then he comes to it, like really comes to his own. That's why I admire the story so much, because I like that sentiment.
I guess if we were to point out any sort of minor criticisms, mine would be some of the CGI for the orcs is a little bit annoying because of obviously how much work they put into Lord of the Rings. That work won them an Oscar. It kind of feels like a little bit lazy to go back to CGI, but I mean, that's not to say that the rest of the production was lazy, because they worked their asses off to make this trilogy. So it's just a little nitpick, and I think maybe we could have seen a bit more of the villains in this film. I mean, not necessarily Smaug, but more like Azog and the orcs. They could have appeared a bit more, but I think apart from that, I think it's. Sorry.
I think. Sorry, I was gonna say. I think if we needed any more screen time, it'd be to supporting characters like is it Bayon, who is introducing the opening of Desolation as well.
Bayon's not in the first one, but Radagast is.
I was just saying, if we needed any more time to see anything in this whole trilogy, I would have just put it out supporting characters.
Oh, fair enough. Well, like Radagast probably would have needed a bit more.
I think Radagast we had just about enough actually,
What?
but maybe more. That'd be quite cool.
In the book, he wasn't integral to the story.
These are rustabout.
I mean, in terms of like the Dol Guldur stuff, I guess it's good to have him in there. So because he makes Gandalf aware of what's going on. But yeah, he doesn't motivate the plot too much, but it's nice to have him in there. I mean, he's good for comic relief, like Sylvester McCoy.
Anything to stretch it out to 3 films.
Yeah. I mean, and Sylvester McCoy is really good in the role. He's very eccentric, he's a good actor. He's an eccentric actor, and he does the part well.
I met
he was
McCoy.
Yeah, what kind of guy? And then
he gets high on the old Toby.
Oh yeah.
Oh, right. Well, in terms of like an unexpected journey, I think we can sort of wrap this one up. I think it's a great film. It has a lot of great moments. It's absolutely fantastic to watch. It's a nice welcome return to Middle Earth. Has a lot of great characters, a great story, great ending as well. Like the climax is just amazing. I mean, that's chapter 6 of the book, and they turned that into an epic climax. That's brilliant. I think the acting is also very good too. Like Martin Freeman does play the role very well. You see him mature over the course of the 3 films, and it's interesting to see the beginning stages of his journey. By the end, he earns Thorin's respect, which is good, and you see that develop into a friendship towards the other films. Yeah, I like the villains as well. I like the visual style of the film. The cinematography is beautiful. It's really well shot as well. The camera work is stunning. I mean, there's a really cool shot during the Goblin scene when the camera zooms right down through the action. It's excellent. It's really well done, and the music is fantastic too. So I can't help but give this movie. I'm probably going to give it a 10 out of 10.
Woohoo!
I
ask, what do you think of Ian Holmes' involvement at the beginning?
Oh yes, how do we forget that? Oh my gosh, Ian Holm. Yes, it's great to have him there. It's nice to have him.
It's nice.
Yeah, it's great to have him like telling the story to Frodo, almost as like a foreshadowing, linking into Lord of the Rings. You can see now why Bilbo is the way he is in Fellowship of the Ring, because he's been changed by his experience on his adventure. And I mean that isn't Ian Holm's a nice addition, and he's the one that opens the Hobbit trilogy.
I just also remember the Rivendell. That was brilliant.
Yeah, the Rivendell scenes were good. I like those.
Wasn't they the ones that were extended as well? That was quite nice.
There was a scene between Elrond and Bilbo that was in the extended cut. That was really good. In terms of a rating, how would you two, like, who wants to go first with their rating, or like just a brief summary of what you think of the first one?
Eeny, meeny, miny, Harry.
Yeah, I second what you say, Ollie. 10 out of 10, because it was really engaging. So much happened. It was a lot like the book, which I love, and I can't really think of much fault in it, really. I just really enjoy it. And I know what people, slate this film a lot, like even the huge fans of Middle Earth, but I think it's brilliant. So yeah, 10 out of 10.
Do you have any minor criticisms?
Do I have any minor criticisms? Probably just the Eagles. That's it.
Sorry.
Just the Eagles.
The Eagles.
Duex Machina. I don't know how to say it, but yeah, just the Eagles saving the day.
Fair enough. Adam?
10.
Was that a 10 out of 10?
Yeah, 10 shrooms out of 10, yeah.
Ooh.
10 whistles,
Enough mushroom.
I do like me some Christopher
Oh,
Lee.
we forgot to
Anyway,
mention Christopher Lee. His
Christopher
scene,
Lee.
the scene
Ah,
with
yes.
the scene with the White Council is a good scene, and obviously they return for the third one. We'll mention more about those later on.
Yeah.
Right, now we move on to the middle chapter of this trilogy, The
Woo!
Desolation of Smaug.
My favourite.
Or as I like to call it, The Empire Strikes Back, or The Dark Knight of them all. The second one's always the best in the trilogy. Well, sometimes, and Spider-Man 2, as goes with many. Anyway, carry on.
Right, so yeah, now we are here in the middle section of this trilogy, The Desolation of Smaug. That's such a good title, I can't go over that. So yeah, The Desolation of Smaug. I think it's the best of the trilogy. I'm just going to say it right there. Who wants to kick us off with The Desolation of Smaug?
I think Parachute Walker should start, because I started Unexpected Journey.
It was the best one of the trilogy. Thanks, Adam. Yeah, Desolation of Schmall.
No problem.
I love the little prelude. That was nice. I also think that the way the title came on, that was amazing. That really got me into it. I love the stuff with spiders in the dark forest, and I like that scene with Smaug. Oh, I thought they couldn't do better with like riddles in the dark, like from Unexpected Journey, but they like that scene. That was just amazing. Smaug is actually my favourite, the best dragon I've ever seen on film.
Really,
Like,
Cumberbatch has the perfect voice for it.
absolutely, just I mean, I know he's in everything nowadays, but that voice, and I love the ending as well. That's such a brilliant ending.
Cliffhanger ending. Is it chapter 12 of the book?
I think so. Yeah, another 6 chapters.
Another 6 chapters.
Yeah, that was an amazing ending. Just like it was just edge of your seat stuff. And also, I really like is how they mention Bard, they introduce Bard even earlier on than they do in the book, as like so you actually get introduced him like way before he
As a character.
Smaug, yes,
Rather than just the
as
random
opposed to
guy
him
who
just
turns up for that chapter to do that particular thing at that moment.
instead of him just like popping up and going, "Hey, a bow and arrow man," and then he gets all this fuss and commotion. Like, hang on a minute, who's this guy? So yeah, I like how they did that. That's great, and I like how he helped the dwarfs get into Lake Town. And the barrel scene,
Beorn.
amazing, so good, and Beorn as well. He was great. Just I love his scenes in the
extended version.
Yeah, I like how they very.
I was so happy when I watched the extended cut.
I like how they very subtly did that thing in the book where where the dwarfs come on like in twos. I thought that was pretty cool.
They did that in the book as well, I think.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I like how they subtly did that in the extended cut.
Also, I think in terms of the pace, I mean, not that An Unexpected Journey was slow, but I thought The Desolation of Smaug zoomed by. I mean, that film is so quick.
I think they're both quite quick actually. Those films.
Also, what do you think of just the? Do you think generally that it's a darker film and it's a lot? I mean, not much obviously because it still has the light kind of rompy feel and it is funny but there are darker elements to it, like with the spiders and Smaug.
There is a lot of darker elements, and like there's also like less sort of reassurance as well, because you're not really sure if the dwarfs are like the company are going to succeed. What? I'm tired. You're not sure if they're going to succeed because Gandalf leaves. He just leaves to go because he's going to Dol Guldur. So
there's different. And this film is the structure is different because there's different threads to the plot. Like, I mean, because Gandalf goes off to Dol Guldur, like you said, and you have the dwarves continuing their journey, and then you've also got the orcs who are chasing them. Bolg, I believe it is, Azog's son.
So Azog's still there, and like then Smaug gets introduced, and then it's just like there's just so much, you know.
There's so much going on in the second part, which is it's so exciting, and the extended cut is excellent. Like the scene with you know who. I'm not going to spoil it for Adam because he's probably not seen the extended cut, but you know the extra bit in Dol Guldur. You know what I mean, Harry?
Oh yes, oh yeah.
That was amazing.
That was very good. They cut that out. They cut that out in a very clever way, actually. When they cut it out of the film, so they can include it in the extended cut. That was pretty clever, actually.
Yeah. Also, the music again by Howard Shore is. I think it's a more intense soundtrack because we're introducing Smaug. They finally get to the mountain and we get to see the main villain.
I just love how like all of his music just totally fits with whatever it is. It just totally fits all the time. It's amazing.
Mm. What do you think of obviously? Well, they Tauriel, the completely imagined character by the filmmakers. They added her in. What do you think of her?
To this day, I'm still not really that sure, to be honest, because I don't know. I mean, I like how they had a sort of female character in the story because it's prominently just males. So
Yeah.
I like how they included someone who was female, and she was she was a good strong character, and that love story, yeah, it's just there, I guess.
I mean, don't get me wrong. It's not terrible. It's not cringeworthy. It's not like Attack of the Clones cringeworthy, but I mean,
nothing comes of it because because we all know that we knew that Keely was going to die at the end, so like it was just like, oh,
well, the end of the next film.
well, yeah, I know, but like it's just like we knew that nothing would really come much of it. Like Eva Taria would die as well, or she wouldn't.
Yeah, in terms of her involvement in the Desolation of Smaug, I thought that she was great. I mean, a great addition in terms of like a strong character. Aside the love story stuff, I mean, Evangeline Lilly suits the part really well. She's a good fighter. She'll stand up for herself. She's not gonna take any crap from Thranduil as well. Like I love about the Desolation of Smaug also is how we introduced different cultures of Middle Earth as well. Like we go to the Elven Woodland realm. We go to Lake Town as well. It's a very it's a different. It feels different to the first one in that sense because the first one it was just the dwarves and Bilbo. It was just the dwarves and the hobbits. Like there wasn't really anyone else to kind of really. Yeah.
Yeah, I that's just nice, just to see that on film. It just the different sort of groups in Middle Earth.
Oh yeah, and the orcs. Forgot to mention those as well.
Yeah, I just thought it was great. I just think it's a really good and also you got the Master of Lake Town
and Alfred. Yeah.
Bollocks, Shire.
Bollocks, sire.
I just remembered. I love that scene where Thorin introduces himself to the Master of Lake Town. He's like, "We are the dwarfs of Erebor. We have come to reclaim our homeland."
Yeah, I think Richard Armitage again proved himself as Thorin, and
everyone talks about Ian McKellen and Martin Freeman and Benedict Cumberbatch, but no one talks about Richard Armitage.
Yeah, that's why when I reviewed the Battle of the Five Armies, I had to really praise Richard Armitage. I mean, the guy.
No one praised Richard Armitage.
I mean, the guy is so.
You don't hear a lot of
pictures and the Tumblr and everything that's around. Surely this guy has got a lot of credit.
That's one demographic.
He's only picture.
Across the
He's
board.
on your chest as a tattoo.
Is he?
Where would
He
it be
is.
foreign?
In terms of reviews, he's completely. He's not acknowledged.
Yeah, mate. Anyway, carry on.
No one talks about Bard. I've got Bard on my wall.
I've got.
Oh yeah, you do.
Yeah.
And I think also the visual effects and cinematography, in keeping with the style of the first one, but also I think it's better. I mean, look at Smaug. He looks amazing. He looks so real. I mean, he looks enormous.
So real.
Yeah, I mean that small encounter in the book turned into quite an expansive. I mean, I like how Bilbo is sneakily trying to get his way to find the Arkenstone, and then it turns into a chase as well. Like, you know, Smaug is chasing him down the pile of gold, and it turns into, like, the Desolation of Smaug is a very thrilling film, and they made that chapter, I think, into a bit of a fight climax when they had to fight against
I love it. I
Smaug.
love it when Smaug calls Bilbo Barrel Rider.
Barrel Rider.
Even
Yeah.
though even though he wasn't actually in any of the barrels, he was just hanging off one. But you know.
Yeah. I guess that still counts.
Yeah, I guess.
Well, speaking of which, the barrel sequence is just amazing. I mean, wow, that was hilarious. It was
Oh, Bomber,
spectacular.
Bomber the barrel.
Bomber. Oh my god, Bomber's
The ultimate
brilliant.
KO machine.
That was just so good.
Annihilation when he spins around and knocks all the orcs off.
I just love how his limbs just all pop out like.
Yeah. Oh, I like the also when the orcs climb over the wall as well. That was, I mean, the camera work again is amazing. I mean, and Howard Shore's music it's all seamless. It all blends real well together. Also, we forgot to mention, Legolas has returned
Ah,
because his dad is in the film.
and also it's doing that usual thing with like prequels that are made after the original, where they try to make them look younger, but actually they just look like they've had a lot of CGI work done.
Yeah, I mean, it worked with Ian McKellen, I think,
Well, yeah, because he hasn't really aged that much.
in
Really.
10 years.
Yeah, I mean you age a lot when you're younger, but not when you're older.
Fair
Well,
enough.
well, kind of. Well,
I
you still
agree.
do, but over like a longer period of time, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Because he wouldn't have looked significantly different in 10 years, but like
I
but
mean, the elves are meant to be kind of ageless anyway, but I
yeah,
guess they had to try and make him look a little bit younger. I mean, I think he looks a bit more. Yeah, he does look older. I mean, he still looks older, but at the same time, it's not going to be too much of an issue. I mean, I think as a character, he's basically just there to just kill some orcs, but it's nice to see him there purely because his dad's in the film, and it's nice to see that dynamic.
and also he drew
Um,
blood for the first time.
Yeah, and Thranduil, man, that guy's a dick.
Uh,
Oh, I mean, played brilliantly by Lee Pace.
he's got a nice name though, Thranduil.
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 He basically just says to Thorin, he's like, you know, I will let you go free if you just bring me my gems.
Do not
But
talk to me of Dragonfire.
it's like, do not talk to me of Dragonfire. Oh yeah, when you see half of his face all burnt.
Ah, even
Ooh.
like the special effects on simple, like smaller things like that are so good. Yeah.
I mean, like you said about An Unexpected Journey, attention to detail is excellent. Like even for the Desolation of Smaug. Also, one of my favourite scenes personally is the reveal of the Necromancer.
Ah.
That scene is amazing.
Yep. Yep.
Mm.
Yep.
Adam, would you like to say something now? Because we've been
You
talking
say
for a
something,
while.
Adam, because I don't want to feel like you're not involved in this.
Oh, he's gone. Say
Oh no!
say something.
Say something, I'm giving up. What? Gosh. Wow. Well, what are we gonna do? What have we done?
We have come to reclaim our homeland. And the whole kind of, you know, Keely getting the wound thing, like, I never really got the point of that. I mean, just to bring the two lovers together, like, what? It doesn't really motivate the plot for me.
Well, I think, mate, I've just thought about this now, actually. You know how, like, in An Unexpected Journey, it pretty much seemed like the dwarfs were invincible, like they could fall from like high heights and they're not hurting anywhere at all. It's
Yeah.
like maybe that sort of gives them a bit more sort of mortality. You know,
I guess so. Yeah.
maybe that could be a way of seeing it.
And it's different from the book because all of the dwarves go to the mountain, but obviously.
I just see it as Mortal Kombat. Anyway.
Oh, you're back! Great.
Adam, would you like to share your thoughts on the desolation of Smaug?
Oh boy, would I? Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
The Desolation of Smaug. Well, we open with a really cool prologue scene between Thorin and Gandalf, and how they sort of met, and how Gandalf convinces them to take back their homeland, and that it could be humanly possible. But I sort of like the bits where the people in the bar were sort of gaining in on Thorin. Well, I was quite tense when I was watching it, and Peter Jackson's carrot-eating cameo.
Oh yes.
The man.
Oh, nostalgia.
He never runs out.
Go on, Adam.
Hang on a moment.
Oh.
Hang on a
Yes. Carrot Man. Carrot Man.
Carrot Man. That sounds like you get some. There are really some unheard of Marvel superheroes. Like there's one called Squirrel Girl.
Oh right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that one of them, Carrot Man? Sorry, go on.
I forgot. I lost. Yeah, and then we get an introduction to Beorn's character and all that. That was really, really cool.
Mm.
Hang on.
Beorn.
I like the actor who plays him. He's really cool. I forgot the actor's name, but whoever plays him, good job. And then, for God's sake, I haven't seen it in a while actually. I should give it another watch. I should give all three Hobbit films a go, and then Lord of the Rings, and then marathon the lot.
That'd be interesting to do.
I'll skip forward to the elves. I love. Is it Frandriel? Frandriel? Boss, the Daddy of the elves. Frandriel?
Daddy of the elves.
Isn't it? Is that him?
Frandriel.
I know he's a dick,
Frandriel.
but he's cool. He's a cool dick. Just
Back in the day.
in
Alright.
the makeup, the acting. I don't know. It's just something about it that makes him a really powerful man. But yeah,
Hello.
really wild. I really like him. I quite like him in the Five Armies, but we'll get to that when we talk about the Five Armies.
And he's good in Guardians of the Galaxy too.
Yeah, he is. Is it Lee Pace?
Yeah, Lee Pace is Ronin.
Lee Pace, he's Ronan, yeah, in Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah. What an actor.
Sorry, I distracted you. Back on Desolation of Smaug.
Back on Desolation of Smaug. Of course, Legolas was great. All the spiders scene was really cool. There's that part. Of course, they come to their rescue. And Tariel's hot, so, you know. Tariel, you can't have no complaints with Tariel at all. As for the love story, it's alright. I think it becomes a bit, I think it sort of maybe slightly loses it with the Battle of the Five Armies, maybe just slightly.
Yeah.
I think even critics, I think Jeremy John sort of said in his video that he thought it was cute, but then when he watched that, he sort of lessened his opinion. But
I think it's because it's distant. Like, the characters barely interact, so it's hard to really care about both of them. Like, you don't see them together very often.
That's very true.
It's more of a problem in the Battle of the Five Armies, but we'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah. I love Lake Town. The whole Lake Town is beautiful, it looks great. And the servant to Stephen Fry, I'll call him Stephen Fry, or the lake guy.
His name is Alfred.
Oh yeah. Oh, Alfred, yeah. What a strange name for a servant. Not a butler, but yeah. I think he's definitely a dick. No questions asked. He really is just horrible. But that was, of course, what they intended. Although he was given one funny scene in the Battle of the Five Armies. But I like Stephen Fry's Yoda impression in this film.
Where was that?
Because I'm not gonna lie, he sounds a bit like Yoda. And we must find him.
Yeah,
You might...
probably because they are. Find them.
Short and green, that's it. We must find them, Luke,
Hmm.
and show them the way of the Force.
What do you think of like Bolg and the other sort of added villains to the story? What to?
Oh, the beefed up Azog, or yeah, he did just as good a job as Azog, really. So
His son as well. So
that was cool.
he had a great fight with Legolas.
I love the moment. I don't know what I. Well, I got a message. There's something about them losing hope of not getting the key into the hole when they're trying to get into the when they're trying to get to their homeland place. And, there's something so tense about that. I was like, they were about to give up, when of course they sort of really didn't, and they sprang it back up, and then of course they managed to get him, which was great.
I mean,
I was like, yay!
I mean,
They finally
that
did
moment
it.
when they open the door is
Like
such
the
an
redemption.
emotionally fulfilling moment for them. I mean, you just really you really have to sort of understand emotionally why they have gone this far for their homeland, you know, and that scene is probably one of the best scenes in the film.
Yeah, I do like that. I love. What? I'm trying to think of a dwarf's name. Balin. He's great. His name is Billabong.
Oh, I love Balin.
Balin is probably my favourite non-Thorin dwarf. No, people may have Keely, Feely, or Bumper.
Yeah.
I think it's Balin. He's just cool, old, wise, and
He's like a father to Thorin.
Which
Yeah,
one's
definitely,
Balin again?
Balin's the one who is always advising
my
Thorin.
lad was a dragon.
Ah, the Scottish one. Oh,
Yeah.
no. Oh,
Yeah, Ken Stott.
Oh, I know. Yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
I know James
he's
Nesbitt's
cool. I
a
like
dwarf.
Yeah, James Nesbitt is both up.
Nesbitt dwarf.
Oh yeah.
James Nesbitt's good as well.
Yeah. Who?
Adam, what do you think of Smaug?
Oh, Smart.
Small.
He's Benedict Cumberbatch. What was it Benedict, Sherlock, Turing, Khan, Smaug, Cumberbatch. He's got a great voice and brings such power to the screen. And I think what attracts, particularly with this version, is the eyes. You could look into his eyes and see evil and distraction just within the eyes, and that's what I love about so many characters. That sometimes when you play a character, you can really through the eyes show out the age, of what has been behind them, and
I mean, there's a close up of
in
Ashley
forms of
eye.
films. I think stuff people maybe not Darth Vader. It's completely a helmet. It's just more powering.
When after Bilbo takes the ring off, there's a close up of Smaug's eye, and when he says, "There you are, thief," when he's calling him thief and barrel rider, he's taunting him like. I love how it's like it's a mind game. Bilbo's trying to play the game. He's trying to compliment him. He's trying to flatter him so that he could sneak his way through. I just that scene is just incredible.
And I do like when the dwarves sort of do come into the dragon to defeat the dragon. They're sort of they're going on a little what's it? When they arrive, there are some who sort of set up this trap for him. That's what I was saying.
But yeah, when they drown him in gold,
making the gold. Yeah. That sort of workplace, and when he emerges from the gold is fantastic, and says, "Revenge, I'll show you." And that he's deaf, so he's pretty much cemented himself as a baddie.
Oh, I mean,
pretty much.
That ending is just so intense. When he's like, "I am fire, I am death," Oh, and then
one other thing I like about that ending, because I think that everyone's always said everything else about it already. I think that it's a I love the little music in the background. You know, sort of like the woo.
Yeah, it's so haunting.
I'll be just 1 second. Hold on.
Adam.
Hello.
Oh, what do you think in terms of like the pacing of the film? Do you think the film is structured well?
I think this is the most well structured of the Hobbit films. Yes, absolutely. I think never a dull moment, and I think there's always something going on. And whatever it was intriguing, and it led to such a big climactic reasoning that sort of leads into the battle. You know, the next big battle, the next big battle film, in a way. So
Yeah, because
yeah, I think all around it was enjoyable throughout.
and yeah, because you see that shot of the army marching off to battle, so you know that there's some kind of battle that's about to happen, and it's just such an exciting film, I think, and I love the climax inside the mountain when they're battling Smaug, and it's very well done, and also the Dol Guldur stuff is handled really well, and Sylvester McCoy
Oh,
again,
God, that was great.
yeah, and Sylvester McCoy as Radagast again. He doesn't have much to do, but he's good in the scenes he's in. He's less of a druggie in this film, but that's fine. He overdosed on the mushrooms a little bit.
Yes, yes.
Oh, Harry, no, he's gone. Oh yeah, Adam, what do you think of the soundtrack?
Really great. I think Ed Sheeran's song was great. Well, Rupert Grint did appear in recently. Anyway, that was cool. The music with the barrel scene was great, and yeah, there was just so many epic action beats that really complemented the film. It worked.
Hmm. As a whole, did the film surprise you?
Um, I'm trying. I swear there could have been. I'm trying to go. Probably Smaug. I was not that I wasn't, I was sort of wondering when it was going to end. Not that I wasn't engaged, but I was like, how can you end this?
Yeah.
And it ended unexpectedly. What have we done? I was like,
What have we done?
oh God. I thought maybe more was going to be shown, but then it's cut. So I suppose how the movie did end would have been the big surprise factor for me, because I was wondering, could they have ended it anywhere before? I don't know. Any time could be it, really.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of the other ending, they may have ended it when the dwarves couldn't get into the mountain, maybe, or
yeah.
or they would have ended it.
I thought they would have ended it when Smaug was covered in gold. I don't know why.
Or they would have ended it the chapter afterwards, but that turned out to be the opening to Battle of the Five Armies, and I think it works better as an opening. Because otherwise it would be too much action at the end of the second one.
Yeah.
Because like all the reviewers were saying, like when the reviews for Desolation of Smaug came out, they said like all the climax is lengthy, but it's fun. I mean, and then when Battle of the Five Armies came out, they were like, oh, you should have put the opening at the end of the second film. We're like, well, make your mind up, please. I mean, it was a little bit annoying. It's just annoying that the criticisms that these films get, but I still think that the Desolation of Smaug had a lot of work put into it. The actors all do really well as well. I mean, Benedict Cumberbatch probably steals the show here for Smaug. But the others are all fantastic.
And he does the mocap.
Yes, he did the motion capture to fully, immerse himself into the role.
Yeah.
And they used that as a reference, and then he once they recorded his voice, he stood on this platform or something, and then he managed to sort of do the gestures as well. Obviously, because he's not.
And he got paid, so that's quite fun.
Yeah, you get paid to be a
I'd
dragon.
love to do that for a living.
I'd
I
love
don't
to
even
be
have to be there. I'm in mocap and I could be a dragon.
a
I could be
dragon.
anything I want to be. I could be a fairy. or, st- or Batman. I don't know. Just pick.
Motion
Just
capture
take
for
your pick.
Batman.
Motion
Batman.
Yeah.
Motion capture for that. That would be.
I've always also thought of a career in puppets. I don't know why. I quite like puppets. I quite like mocap puppets. You're sort of acting and moving it, but you're sort of really not there. It's really sort of models,
Yeah.
or of course, in this case, Smaug, that's doing all, that's on screen.
Yeah.
But there is you behind that control. So in a way, it's sort of like, well, playing an Xbox game when you're sort of in control. But
Oh,
yeah,
there was
things like that.
a set of PS3 games. They were called Uncharted. They were like basically modern day Indiana Jones, but
Yeah, and that
those
mocap.
were the cutscenes. All of them, they were done by motion.
And The Last of Us, that was the one.
They had, yeah.
Was it The Last of
Us?
Us?
Motion capture for
Yeah.
games.
Yeah. It's a great, it must be really fun for the actual actors, and it's surprising that you could get anyone to mocap Smaug, but Benedict actually committing himself to do it was really cool.
I mean, for certain characters, they sort of had to do it. Like with the villains, like Azog and Bolg, they had to get actors to stand there and do the motion capture and do it that way. But Cumberbatch couldn't physically stand there and be the dragon. He had to do it in a studio. But it was a good. I think it was a good. He didn't just want to be the voice, and I think sort of fully immersing yourself helps with the actor. And I think it goes to show the commitment that was put in.
Yeah.
On screen, because when you watch the scene between Bilbo and Smaug in this film, The Desolation of Smaug, you really genuinely feel like this guy is quite scary. He's about to eat you. Yes. Well, I mean, I don't have much else to say about The Desolation of Smaug. I think it's absolutely fantastic. It definitely, for me, it's the best of the trilogy. Undoubtedly, I've always loved it, and it's such a kinetic film. Everything that happens, it moves along so quickly. Some great elements of darkness, like the scene with the spiders. I love that when Bilbo is beating up the spider, and then he says, "Mine." Like that's just every time. That really gets me. That's so tense, and I love that. And then we get to see other cultures of Middle Earth, such as the Lake Town people. We get to meet, the elves of the Wooden Realm, like Legolas and Tauriel. There's more action as well. There's a lot of action. We get to see Smaug as well. There's just so much that happens in this film, and it's such an exciting movie. It never loses its pace within its structure. The characters are great, well-rounded. The moment you can see at the end when Thorin is holding up the sword, he's changing. He's you can see him changing when he's like, "Where's the Arkenstone? Where's the Arkenstone?" That's to be the we see the end result of that in the third film, but for the second film, it's they just foreshadow it, and again the music fantastic. It's such a thrilling film as well. Like all the action is superb. It's a lot of fun too, but I think in terms comparing it to An Unexpected Journey, I think it stepped it up. I think it stepped up as every sequel should do. It should aim to beat its original, and The Desolation of Smaug beat its original.
Woohoo!
So I'm gonna give it 10 out of 10. It's a lot.
I'll give it 10 out of 10 too.
Yeah, I mean, almost like just the biggest surprise for me really is also the craft in terms of the structure of the story, because it is another 6 chapters of a book, so they did that well. Also, Bard, I forgot to mention, Bard is a great character. The way they introduce him earlier on is a lot better for me, rather than just throwing him in there for that one particular chapter, which we'll come to later. So yeah. Right, I don't know where Harry's gone. If he comes back, he can wrap up on his thoughts of The Desolation of Smaug. But let's move on to the third and final film, The Battle of the Five Armies. So,
coming soon on Blu-ray.
Yes,
and DVD.
Soon on Blu-ray. Adam, would you like to kick us off with your thoughts on The Battle of the Five Armies?
The Battle of the Five Armies was, I think, a great experience. I was truly in the action. I think of all the films, it definitely felt like most a winter film because of the the snowy, the more icy landscapes and yeah. I love the tension between the characters. Like certain moments, I think
Yeah,
that scene was really cool. As like trying to get Grandeur and have seen go back a few months.
it was Natalia was
I know I'm quite skipping to the I know I'm quite skipping to the end, but the way that Gandalf just sits by Bilbo and just keeps fiddling with his pipe was it was
yeah,
awkward but funny awkward I
yeah.
guess.
It's just a moment
Um,
to sort of ease the tension after the big battle, you know.
Thorin's dragon sickness was quite some good Shakespearean sort of type acting. Lawrence Epiphany, if you will.
Yeah, when he's like, "Get out, or I'll kill you." Yeah,
Yeah, and I love because and the other dwarfs have to really sort of pull them out of it. Of course, with like, battle for us, like those sort of moments. And then when Thorin's fine, it's all nice and cool. And I like the idea of what was it? And you always they sort of and you felt I think there was one scene with Thorin or Barton when they sort of think when you think are they onto him but then sort of aren't onto him.
yeah,
I think that is Thorin says something. Oh, what I'm trying to remember. He said something like whoever has actually taken the Ark of Stone, I'll do all these things. And you can see in Bilbo, it's like I don't want these things to happen. Then sort of calms down and says, "Oh, I want to give you this." And gives him a what was it, a necklace
Oh, an
or
acorn. He gives him
something?
the acorn.
Oh right, yeah. That scene was
Oh, yeah,
really
and he
cool.
gives him the mithril vest as well.
Yeah, yeah. That scene I really liked. I quite like, you know, Bard was really, I think, has really come to his own. I love the end of his arc, his character arc, saving the people of Lake Town,
You know, he
taking
takes
them
on
to
much more
land.
of a leadership role.
But
Yeah,
yes, and of course that moment when of course he hits Mal with the arrow and gets his and the balance is on the boy's shoulder. Really, well, the boy's arm, boy's shoulders. I'm not quite sure where, but when he just gets that and then stabs, it was
I mean,
quite a great
I think,
moment. I was like, wow,
that
he's
that
taking him
opening
out.
sequence in the cinema, to watch that, just to hear it come on. I mean, wow, that is just brilliant. I mean, the sound was excellent on that scene. I mean, and Smaug has his few lines at the beginning. You know, he's like, you know, "What are you going to do now, bowman?" or something like that. You know, I can't remember the lines, but like he's like, "You think you can stop
Mm,
me?" Like, it's like, no help will come. You know, and obviously his death is so dramatic, and it's that opening scene is excellent. I mean,
yeah.
yeah. I mean, what do you think of that opening?
Oh, the opening's fantastic. No flashback prologue, which is a bit of a surprise because Return of the King had one, didn't it, with
Gone.
Gollum, and that was the last one in the
Yeah.
trilogy. And I think this is the only one that doesn't really have it, that really throws you into the action. And good on, well, it's the last Middle Earth film to be there, and it's a lot,
Well, for now.
yeah, I love that opening scene. All I can think about is fire for that opening. There's nothing else I could, imagine.
Yeah. When
But just
Bard is
thrones of
running across the
fire.
rooftops as well. And wow,
Yeah.
it was pretty spectacular. And again, Howard
Mm.
Shaw's music just phenomenal.
Yeah.
I mean,
Indeed.
and I love the fact that and then when the title comes up, the Battle of the Five Armies.
Is that the same music for every title that comes up? I'm
No,
trying to think.
but,
No, wait. What was the music that I think there was a particular music when the Desolation of Smaug
that
title
was
came
the
up. I thought that was
da
quite
da
chill.
da 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 da. The third one, it was something like dun, 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 dun. It was
Oh
like,
right, okay. I'll
and then the first one,
up
it was
anyway.
like the old Friends theme.
Oh yeah,
Da-da-da.
I love
An
that.
unexpected journey in the smoke ring.
Hmm.
No, I mean, I love the build up for this film. I mean, you get a sufficient amount of time in Erebor, obviously, because the characters have reached their destination. Um,
Yep.
there's not really much. They're trying to deal with Thorin's dragon sickness, and I thought Richard Armitage gives his best performance out of the trilogy in this
Hmm.
film. I mean, because you can tell, obviously how long he's yearned for the goal, but it's like a sickness. It does it to everyone. It's almost like he becomes the mirror image of his mortal enemy, Smaug, because there's a moment when he
Indeed.
repeats some of his lines. He's like, "I will not part with a single coin, not one piece of it." And Bilbo sees that he's becoming like Smaug, and it's really interesting to see how Thorin descends into obsession and greed. And when he's in his kingly armor, like if you see in my picture there, um, that armor there.
Yeah,
He's like,
yeah.
I will have war. He would rather go to war than
Hmm.
give up all of his gold. It's a really interesting dynamic for the main characters because they've seen him in a different light throughout the first two films, and to see him as he is in the third one is obviously quite hard for them, hard for Bilbo because he's Bilbo's friend. Well, Bilbo's just trying to do the right thing, and he obviously stole the Arkenstone with good reason. And I like the fact that the elves come in as well, like to join the battle. Like it really is the battle of the five armies. You've got the dwarves, the elves, the orcs, the Lake Town men, and I
And
think
Alfred.
and the eagles as well. Alfred.
And the Eagles. Oh, and I like the scene when Radagast comes in, when Beorn comes in, all
Oh
on the
yes, the
Eagles.
very
That
end
was
when
really cool.
when the eagles fly into the battle. Like it's ironic. Like Harry said, this Radagast is the one who doesn't appear much in the trilogy, but he saves the day. He just comes in with the eagles.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think Azog is at his best here as well. He gets a lot more to do. He's commanding his army, and his fight on the ice with Thorin was excellent. So well done.
Yeah, yeah.
And like you said in to me before on Skype, he actually Thorin waits to check before he's dead.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And then because he goes under the ice, and then there's that moment when Azog opens his eyes, flips out the ice, and he's about to stab Thorin. Like it's such a great fight. I mean, all the action in this film is amazing. The battle sequences are superbly done.
Hmm.
I mean, also you got Billy Connolly come in as well. Dane, Thorin's cousin. He comes in with his
Oh
his
yeah.
army. He's like, oh, let's give these bastards a good whacking.
Hmm.
Yeah, he had some comedic relief as well. And
Billy
yeah, the film
Connolly.
film
My
has its
God. I
emotional.
didn't think it was him.
Sorry.
Yeah. I didn't think it was. Sorry, I was going to say I didn't think it was Billy Connolly. I was like, oh, but he's great.
Yeah, he is great. You got the emotional moments too. Obviously the love story, which is probably the weak point of the film. I mean, if I'm going to be completely honest, I mean, it's not bad, but it's just a bit pointless because the two characters barely interact, and when Keely dies, I mean, obviously you feel sad for her, but as an audience member, you can't really connect with the death because I mean, yeah, we've seen Keely throughout the film, but from her perspective, you just don't really believe that they're in love. I just don't believe that they're in love. I mean, I don't buy it, to be honest, for
You
some
sort of
reason.
ask yourself, what is love? Baby, don't hurt me.
Wreck his love, wreck his life. Oh, anyway, yeah, and the score again is great. It has some really touching scenes, like when Bilbo returns home as well. That's nice moments, and we see Ian Holm at the very end. That's nice. A nice wrap up. Um, it's actually quite a short film. Well, in terms of Middle Earth, it's a short film. It's 2 hours 24 minutes. It's only 2.5 hours, so it's very very short. But it still moves along at a good old pace, and I think it keeps it going. I mean, yeah, okay, Alfred. I like the scenes with Alfred, but I feel that he got a bit too much screen time. That was probably my only other criticism. That Alfred got a little bit too
Yeah.
much screen time. Like, he didn't need to have that much. I mean, I don't mind him dressing up as a woman. That was quite funny, but um, just he was, for some reason, some of the scenes I just looked at it and I was like, why are you there? You don't need to be there. Why are you there? Ugh. Yeah. Like, what do you just? Is there anything else you want to say as well? Like, oh, what about the Dolgodor scene?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That was really horrific and intense. Really, I enjoyed Evil Tariel. Well, not Evil Tariel, but no, what a Gladriel.
Yeah.
Damn it. That was too bad in the quiz. Yeah,
Ariel.
Evil Gladriel. When she sort of not killed off, but sent off the necromancer, who of course played by Benedict Cumberbatch as well.
Christopher Lee.
Benedict Cumberbatch was over, and Christopher Lee, yeah. Of course they had stunt. I'm presuming they had a bit of stunt double work, but yeah, that was really, really cool choreography for the fights. And
Nice bit of foreshadowing to the Fellowship of the Ring.
Lord of the Rings, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, leave Sauron to me.
Yes.
I wonder what we're going to see in the extended version, like when it comes to that scene. Excuse me. In terms of production values and visual look, I think it's in keeping with the first two, and I think it's still
Yeah.
You can stand it on its own. You can watch it on its own, and you know, it had a hard job. It had to be the conclusion to the Middle Earth saga, the bridge between Hobbit and Lord of the Rings, and a good standalone film itself. So, you know, it had to do three major jobs, and I think it did them really well. And I like the design of the credits, like reminiscent of Return of the King for Lord of the Rings. With Battle of the Five Armies, I'm glad that they did that. They did the credits in the style of the artwork, the drawings. That was really good. Still there, Adam? Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can I be heard? Oh yes, right. Excellent. I don't know what. Oh, the ending, the actual ending when Bilbo returns home. That was really cool. Really like that.
Yeah, and they're all like getting rid of his possessions.
Yeah, a Middle-earth car boot sale-ish thing. So,
Yeah.
although, what would they have instead? Cart boot sale? Wheelbarrow sale. I don't know. Their equivalent anyway of getting rid of Bilbo's stuff.
I love the last moment.
And he sort of returns back to his normal self, you know.
Yeah. Well, no, actually, he returns back, but it's almost a different feeling. It's like, okay, Bilbo's changed since he's been on his journey. He's happy to be home, but you can tell he's a completely different person, obviously, because he's got the ring, and that's changed. The ring obviously changes him over the years from Hobbit to Lord of the Rings. And I like the scene between Gandalf and Bilbo at the end when he's like, you know, there are many magical rings, Bilbo. You know, he knew the whole time that Bilbo had the ring. He knew since he put it in his pocket in An Unexpected Journey. He knew that Bilbo had the ring the whole time. And I think Peter Jackson's directing is excellent as well. He manages to create emotional drive and tension within the battle. You know, it's not just a random battle. You know, there are shots that, you know, people die, you know, in this battle. You know, you see shots of the dead Lake Town children, and it does get quite emotional for certain characters.
Yeah.
obviously, Legolas returns to kick some more ass as well, so that's always good. And there's an Aragorn reference as well at the end, which I thought was excellent.
Yes, that was great.
Oh, like when he's like he's a ranger from the north. I mean, he's known as Strider. His true name you must discover for yourself. And they play the
Mm.
Aragorn theme. Like, oh yes, I feel happy about that. Oh, and Howard Shaw's music just hits all the chords here. I mean, just for me, this is the best soundtrack of the Hobbit trilogy. In my personal opinion, I feel Battle of the Five Armies has the best music of the series. But I mean, all three of the soundtracks are amazing. But yeah, and the pacing
Yeah.
of the film is again very good. I mean, it's the shortest of the three, so um, yeah, naturally. I mean, but they're building up to the battle, but there's still always something happening. You're always intrigued as to what's going to happen to Thorin, where is this all going to go, like when the armies go towards the front of the mountain. Those scenes are always quite intense. Like there's that moment when Bilbo reveals that he betrays Thorin, and Thorin is about to throw him over the edge as well.
Oh yeah.
I always
That
thought
was
that
brilliant, intense.
so intense, really well acted by Richard Armitage and Martin Freeman. I mean, all the actors are great here. I mean, the only criticism is, well, really, in terms of acting, is that Alfred is overused, but it's only a minor thing. And yeah, the love story. I mean, the actors are good. They try, but it's not really enough. It's not really enough. I mean,
Yeah.
and in terms of the script, the writing, the script is fine. It's always been good for The Hobbit. This one, no exception. Yeah, the script is good, very good, really well written scenes in there. I love the nice little foreshadows to Lord of the Rings, like the mithril vest, and that acorn scene is that's really cute. That's nice and sweet. Yeah,
Mm.
I mean, I don't think it's as good as the Desolation of Smaug, purely because I don't think as much happens, and I think it's a bit more gritty than the first two. It's a gritty film. It still has elements of fun to it, but I think it's because the tone changes
Yeah.
quite a bit. I think I prefer Desolation of Smaug for the variety that happened in that film. I mean, I think
Mm.
I think it beats An Unexpected Journey in terms of like intensity and thrills. So,
Oh
but,
yeah. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, but all three are fantastic. I mean, this one, I don't think. I, I mean, ooh, actually, I could still give it a 10 out of 10, but I have minor issues with it, like the love story and Alfred. But yeah, it's a fantastic end to the trilogy, and it's almost perfect, just bar a couple of flaws. And hang on, yeah. Right. I'm not going to cook tonight. Right. Just want to know if you want to kebab. Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. If you want. The a combo. Yeah. Chicken and donut. That's all right. Chicken donut. Yeah. Would you want lamb donut and chicken shish? Yeah, lamb donut. Yeah. Yeah. All right. With the chips. Yeah. Sorry about that, mate. Hello?
Oh, sorry, I muted my mic. Sorry.
No, it's fine. My mum came in. I had to order my dinner. But in conclusion,
Oh right.
yeah, Battle of the Five Armies. It's visually stunning.
That was my phone.
It's alright. Visually stunning, spectacular thrills and action sequences. The battles are awesome. I mean, the characters are great. Love story is a bit weak. Alfred's a bit overused. Some really emotional scenes. Just a fantastic conclusion, really, and it ties in excellently to Lord of the Rings. I couldn't be happier. It's a wonderful conclusion, and as a trilogy, I think The Hobbit works. I don't care what the reviewers say. It works. The Hobbit is fantastic. Jackson took a lot of liberties and artistic license with this, but I think they stretched the story in a way that allowed for expansion and attention to detail, and what can I say? They delivered. I
They
love
did.
all three films are excellent. What do you think of Battle of the Five Armies, and then as a whole, The Hobbit as a trilogy? Like,
I think what you said about my problems with Battle of Five Armies, definitely agree with. You know, the love story and Alfred. But other than that, it was absolutely fantastic. They all came together really well. Some intense character moments, and all around really awesome. Desolation I love, An Unexpected Journey I do love. You could chop a bit of An Unexpected Journey and the Battle of Five Armies, maybe not lose as much, but you know, still would have made a pretty awesome trilogy if many other scenes were cut, which would be a bit odd. But yeah, I just think it can't be faulted. It is a you know of Peter Jackson's work and love and dedication, and the fact that he came back to do another Middle Earth trilogy, and of course The Hobbit, the actual prequel to how to how it
yeah,
all
I mean,
began.
considering
And
also,
it's commendable considering it's a decade and technology has advanced. Considering this is actually a prequel to Lord of the Rings, which of course made in the early 2000s, when
yeah,
of course Gollum may have not have looked as technologically advanced and stuff. So yeah.
I mean, in terms of storytelling, Jackson's always been fine with that. I mean, obviously, technological advances have allowed him to be more free with The Hobbit. Considering he wasn't actually intended to direct The Hobbit in the first place, I think it was fate. I'd like to think that it was fate that led him back to Middle Earth and to direct The Hobbit and Guillermo del Toro. I
Yeah.
think if it would have worked out the other way and we would have had Guillermo del Toro's two-part adaptation of The Hobbit, I don't know if that would have sold as well. I think it would have been a bit weird. I mean,
Yeah.
I think he would have done a good job. He helped with the screenplay, and Jackson also helped with the screenplay. So he did work with Jackson, but he just dropped out the project. So I don't think his style of directing would suit Middle Earth. I think that's only really Peter Jackson.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, in terms of also, it's cinema spectacle at its best. I mean, it's not just the spectacle. I mean, there is a genuine story there with great character moments and emotional undertones there. I mean, each of the three films has offered a lot for me. Like when I've gone to see them, I've seen each of them twice at the cinema. I mean, obviously. I imagine you were blown away when you saw them like in the cinema,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
these are the type of films you have to see at the cinema.
Mm. I think
They're more than
definitely because
just
to really sort of take it all in. I think when you're at home, it's sort of smaller and you sort of yeah, it's a bit compromising, but I think you could still sort of take it back. You know, have some great memories, and for some things it's never as good the next time round. But no, it's got a great rewatchability factor, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, on Blu-ray the films are immaculate. I mean, they look super. The high definition quality is superb, and the sound quality is excellent. I mean, the cinema is obviously a lot more immersive for those films, but I still enjoy watching them on Blu-ray. I'm obviously going to have to marathon the entire Middle Earth saga one day. But yeah, no, that's about it. The Hobbit trilogy. That's all we have to say. Unfortunately, Parachute Walker wasn't able to rejoin us. But I believe he really enjoys the Battle of the Five Armies too. So yeah.
Yeah, roughly, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, thanks everyone for watching this. I want to thank my friends Parachute Walker and Mr. Ultimate Hoovian for joining us.
No problem, mate.
Or Adam, whatever you prefer.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, we will see you later. Thanks, guys. Bye.